Thank you very much. Thank you, Eva and Gideon, Wayne, Jim Lorimer, Bob Lorimer, Raphael, and everyone. I had a big vision when I was 20 years old and I won my first Mr. Universe contest. And that was to promote bodybuilding and fitness all over the world. And that was the beginning of a fitness crusade. And we were very successful by organizing bodybuilding championships, including the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. And the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio became the biggest and the most important bodybuilding competition, and eventually the biggest and most important sports and fitness festival. We had over 1,200 different companies displaying their goods there. We had convention centers that we kind of grew out of, and we occupied over 160 hotels. We had over 200,000 people coming and watch the competitions. We had 20,000 athletes participating in 58 different sports and orders. So it grew so fast that we decided to go and have the Arnold Classic in all 6 continents. And so naturally, one of the most important continents is Africa. So we are so excited about now having the 5th out of 6 Arnold Classics right here in Africa, specifically in South Africa. I have been coming here to South Africa since 1967 because my idol lived here. The man that actually inspired me to get into weightlifting and into bodybuilding and into fitness. His name was Reg Park. And as a matter of fact, his son and his daughter, John Park and Jeanette Park, are sitting right there. Why don't you get up for a second? So I kind of grew up with them when they were little kids. I came here in 1967 to train with Reg Park, with my idol, and to do exhibitions here and seminars and stuff like that. And the sport since then grew tremendously. So this is why it is so great for me to be back here. Also, I won, as you've said earlier, Eva, that I won the Mr. Olympia competition here in 1975. And I have to tell you that no matter what they write or say, we were the first sports competition where we insisted, where the IFBB, the International Federation of Bodybuilding, insisted to have mixed audience, blacks, whites, Indians, and everyone in the same auditorium, and also on a stage. The competitors, there was no restrictions at all. That was our condition to the government in order to bring our competition here to South Africa. And so now to be back where apartheid is over and where South Africa has moved forward in such a big way. And I'm reminded that one of my idols is Mandela. And he was one of those extraordinary leaders, and he's always one of the 5 people that I mention as my idols. So it's great to be here in South Africa and to work with such extraordinary leadership as Wayne is providing here. And to put on this competition, as you've heard, 48 different sports that we have participating. We have almost 11,000 athletes. Just to give you an idea, the Olympics have around 10,000 athletes. So just think about how big we are with this competition. This is the first time that we have held it here. So, I mean, this is going to be exploding. This is going to be huge. And when I talk about the sports and fitness crusade, what I'm talking about is that we are not reaching out only to those and celebrating those that win. We celebrate anyone that participates. The Arnold Classic Sports and Sports and Fitness Festival is all about participation. They have families train together. They have kids train, women train, men train, young train, old train. Everyone ought to participate. That's what we are celebrating here at the Arnold Classic. And this is why I think the South African government was so interested in partnering with us, because they want to promote health and fitness here in South Africa. And this is what we want to promote all over the continent and what we want to promote all over the world. So I want to say thank you to everyone here that has been participating, and that I want to say thank you to the press, because without the press we never would get the information out as efficiently as when we have their participation. So we want to say thank you to all of you. And before I say hasta la vista, baby, I want to go and have one man come out here and just say a few words, and this is Jim Lorimer, who has been my partner for the last 40-some years at the Arnold's, for the Arnold's Classic and Mr. Olympia and Mr. Universe and the Sports Festival and all this. And without him, we would not have been able to really build this organization to the level it is in now. Jim, do you want to just come up, or if someone bring you the microphone?
I'll come your way, sir.
Thank you, Arnold, for always surprising me like this, okay? This is a wonderful time for our Arnold Sports Festival event. Arnold's vision about a decade ago was that we should extend this event to all continents. And in the current year, 2016, we are going to be on all 6 continents. And we have never had any of our events start off at the huge presentation strength level that we have experienced here in Johannesburg. I mean, the numbers we are talking about are huge as far as participants, numbers of sports, and that's a credit again to the men sitting up at the front table there, but it's also a credit to everybody in this room. And so we love being here. It's going to be a great weekend. We were all over the place today watching chess teams, dancers, basketball players, every possible sport you can think of is giving an expression. But the real meaning of the event is the way it impacts so many lives beneficially. Because if you get anywhere where you have 11,000 young people competing, you are doing something meaningful in society, and we're all a great part about that, and we expect to be coming back here every year for the next 40 years, okay? Thank you very much.
So the first one comes from Clinton van der Berg from Supersport. He talks about the fact that you competed here in the 70s and you were inspired by Reg Park, which we know by now. What are your memories of that time, both in South Africa and of the bodybuilding culture in general at that time?
Well, first of all, I remember that the competition was in Pretoria, and it was without any doubt one of the most beautiful cities that I've been. Also, I saw that the bodybuilding sport was growing very fast here in South Africa, especially because they had a great idol here, Reg Park, who had a gymnasium, and had several gymnasiums, but the one that I worked out in always was on 42 Kirk Street. And I remember that I, as a 19-year-old kid, was very heavily into sleeping late at night, in the morning. But Reg was not into that at all. And I remember that at 4:45, he woke me up. I just arrived from Munich, and he woke me up and he says, "Ready to work out?" And I said, "I guess so." And so he gave me some oatmeal and some cereal, and then we drove off to the gym, and at 5:15 we were already squatting with 400 pounds, and we're going all out in our workouts. I remember those days. So I mean, it was, you know, I think he was just such a hero to so many, and this is why I also want to mention that we are handing out an award, which is the first time ever, the Reg Park Award. And this will go to the most muscular man in the world. The person that will win on Saturday night will get that award right along with the Arnold Classic trophy. And because it's very important that we continue remembering where the sport came from, and what I do basically is promoting it, and I'm standing on the shoulders of great heroic people that have been before me, and Reg Park and John Grimmick and Eugene Sandow and people like that were definitely some of those great men that inspired millions. And let's not forget, Reg Park has also done many Hercules movies, and that was seen by millions. They maybe have not seen him on stage winning the Mr. Universe, but they've seen his movies. That was one of those that also made me then want not only to be a bodybuilding champion, but an actor and get into movies. So he was a great inspiration to millions.
Clinton, if you'll just put up your hand, because there's a second question here from Clinton. You've had an extraordinary life in bodybuilding, he says, politics and filmmaking. What are the disciplines or the lessons you learned from each of these along the way to becoming as successful as what you have become?
Well, I think that I talk a lot about the whole idea of success. And, you know, there's certain rules that you have to apply. And I do seminars and speeches about this all over the world. So I'm not going to bore you with the 2-hour speech, but I can tell you one of the most important things is that you have a clear vision. I always was a believer that if you don't have a vision, you cannot succeed in anything. And because otherwise you just drift around, and I feel bad and sorry for people that don't have a vision. I mean, if you think about the latest study in the United States, showed that 70% of the people are not happy with their work. So I mean, imagine how that sucks. That you spend the entire life working on something that you don't like. I mean, that's only because you got into that job because you just needed money and you need to make a living, you have a family and you have your orders. So I think that the way to go is to have a very clear vision, to spend the time and the energy on just thinking about it. What is it that you want to do? Not what your parents want you to do, not what your coach wants you to do, not what your friends want you to do. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you are passionate about? And so that's the key thing. I mean, you can have the best ship in the world, but if you don't have a captain that knows where he's going, that ship will be drifting around and will end up somewhere where it doesn't want to be. And the same is with the most sophisticated airplane in the world. If the pilot doesn't know where to go, you're not going to go anywhere. And so I am a big believer in vision. Then the other thing is, of course, you got when you have a big vision, what do you hear most likely? Oh, come on, you're crazy. This would never happen. You can't do that. That's impossible. No one has done it. And I believe what Mandela said, that you know, everything is always impossible until someone does it. And so that has never held me back from not doing something because no one else has done it. So never listen to the naysayers. Never listen to the people that say it's impossible, it can't be done, or you know, it won't happen and all this stuff. I always heard, yes, it can be done. I remember when I was running for governor, they said, that's impossible. People have to start small. They have to run first for mayor or for city council. I said, I don't have time for this little stuff. They said, I want to get right away to the bottom line. The highest office I can run by not being born in the United States is running for governor. That's what I'm going to do. And you know, 2 months later, I was governor. So I didn't listen to the naysayers. And the same was also when I went in the movies. They said a guy with an Austrian accent and with a name like Schwarzenegger that no one can pronounce, you're never going to go and become a leading man. And they said you were too big, too muscular. And you know, now the in thing is Dustin Hoffman. He weighs 150 pounds. That's the 70s. You know, they say the in thing is like Al Pacino. He weighs 150 pounds. He's a little guy. Woody Allen, now that's a sex symbol. But Arnold, you're way too big. I mean, this is not going to work out. Forget it. But I didn't listen to the naysayers, and I became the highest paid actor in the history of motion pictures. So don't listen to the naysayers. And then there's one third one that I want to mention. Actually, two more I want to mention. One is work your ass off. Don't wait for short cuts. Don't concentrate on how can you cheat or get around the rules and all those kind of things. You got to work your butt off. That's the bottom line. Work, work, work. You know, there's 24 hours a day. You sleep 6 hours, then you have 18 hours left to go and move forward in life. A lot of people waste their time. Some people think that they need to sleep more than 6 hours. Just sleep faster. But the bottom line is, you know, you sleep and then you have 18 hours left. 10 hours you work, maybe an hour or two for traveling around to get to your workplace, but then you still have hours left to learn something, to educate yourself, to work out, improve your body, improve your mind, and all of those things. So those are things, and then one of the most important I want to mention is, don't just think about yourself. It's not just about me. Make me into we. That's the important thing. We got to go and give back, because in the end we're not going to be judged by how much we make, but by how much we give. You got to always think about giving back. Giving back. What do you do for your community? What do you do for your country? Remember what Kennedy said. You know, don't think about just what government can do for you. Think about what you can do for your government, for your country. And this is what I'm talking about. Give something back to your country. And then if you do that, I think if you apply those rules, it's going to help you to be more successful. All right?
Alistair Anderson from Business Days. Alistair here. Alistair in the front right-hand side wants to know, do you feel that bodybuilding perhaps needs a resurgence globally? And how does it compete with outdoor sports which are growing right now?
Well, there is no one, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. President, there is nothing in our Constitution that says that we cannot train outside. Am I correct? 100% correct, so good. I'm happy about that because I have always on Venice Beach and on Muscle Beach worked out outside half of the time and inside in Gold's Gym half of the time. So now when I work out at home, I work out many times outside, so there's no reason that you cannot go and take a run on the beach or just run around and do running outside and do your push-ups outside, do your sit-ups outside and all those things. So you don't have to restrict yourself to just the inside. 10 years ago we were like 120 countries. Now 191 countries are regularly participating and holding their competitions, local competitions, state competitions, national competitions. So the growth is unbelievable. So we are very happy with the growth, but we are never 100% happy because we want to make it faster growing and we want everyone to participate. The other thing that is interesting is, and Raphael and we talked about it, is that it is amazing that now you can go literally to any hotel in the world and you will see a fitness gym in the hotel. Now I can tell you that 20 years ago when I traveled around the world, it was almost impossible to find a hotel with a gym. So it just shows you that now they have in every military base, every police station, every fire station, every university, every sports team, everyone is now working out, even in hospitals. They have the therapy centers after surgery where you do weight resistance training and so on. So this has really become like an activity that everyone can do. And now we just have to, you know, take on the challenge that you were mentioning, that there's still a large percentage of people that are couch potatoes. A couch potato is someone that sits on the couch and watches TV, or listens to the radio, listens to some music, but doesn't get up and go out and do something. So this is what the fitness festival, the Sports and Fitness Festival is all about, is to encourage people and to bring them in and to see the joy of being healthy and fit and to participate.
Unfortunately, we've almost run out of time, so I'm going to fit in one more question if I quickly can too, actually. Orchid de Villiers from IOL. Is Orchid here? Orchid on the far left-hand side there. Arnold, why do you think the Arnold Classic has been such a global success?
I think that the reason why it has been such a success is because we always have been inclusive. So that if there is a sport that wanted to participate, I remember when the boxers came in Columbus, they said, can we participate? I said, of course, you're a great sport. We love watching boxing on television. If it's amateur sport, boxing, if it's for kids, the boxing, I said, yes, bring them in as long as you are concentrating on the youth and on the grown-ups, not just on the grown-ups. You want to see that, that from young on, you can do that sport. So they became part of it, and now we have boxing there, and the same is with all of the different martial arts styles. And so everyone was always included. We are very inclusive and bring sports in and invite them in. This is why the Arnold Classic Sports and Fitness Festival has grown so fast in the United States and became kind of a model for the rest of the world, for all the other continents. We use that same model. We bring in the local team from Ohio to help the local leaders and the organizers, and therefore our competitions the first time around are already highly successful, as you can see here with the participation and with the level of entries of participants that we have. I mean, just today I was having breakfast and I was so lucky that I came early, because there were the world's strongest men cleaning up that breakfast table, I tell you. Oh, I saw when I walked in there was still food left, and by the time I was gone, it was all gone. You know, the manager of the restaurant had to quickly get the food out of the kitchen. So it was really funny to watch the world's strongest man here. They're like the 10 of the biggest and strongest guys. You know, just the eating. Forget the competition. The competition is also highly entertaining. Like you say, sports are always very entertaining. But just to watch them eat. So, but I mean, we have a great time, and we have everyone participate. And we have a great organization. I tell you, Jim Lorimer, the guy that just talked earlier, he's probably the most organized person that I've ever met. And with his organizational skills and with all of the great committees that we put together, we have like thousands of people volunteering and working for us. And the same is here also, you know, with a combination of government, the public sector, the private sector, the non-profit sector, the volunteers, and everyone coming together, you can have a really successful event. And so we have a great formula, and we're very happy about that.
Arnold, lastly, if I asked you to take a step back from your life and imagine that 15-year-old lad who first saw Reg Park in the movie Hercules, from a small place in Taal, we had to go and fetch water outside in the freezing cold, to what your life is today. Aren't you sometimes amazed at what's happened to you in your years when you take a step back?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like you just always hope that it isn't just a dream. And all of a sudden, you know, someone comes to you and like goes like this and says, "Hey, Arnold, wake up. You got to go to the factory now to work. Come on now, stop dreaming." I hope that doesn't happen. No, it is like a dream. And I have to say that I was very fortunate, because America is without any doubt the land of opportunity. I went there with absolutely nothing. And I was full of dreams and full of hope, and I had that fire in the belly, but I had absolutely nothing. I went over there, and I was embraced with open arms, and I was given all the opportunities. So without America, I would not have been able to make it. And without having all the mentors and the coaches and the training partners and people that believed in me, I would not have been able to make it. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because so many times people talk about he's a self-made man. Well, let me tell you something. There is no such a thing as a self-made man. We never make ourselves. The amount of work that it takes for our parents to just educate you, for our teachers, for our coaches to coach you and to train you. By the time you get to be just 20, when you're just about ready to go out in the world, the amount of people that worked on you and helped you, you're never a self-made man. It doesn't exist. And then later on, you need continuous help. If I wouldn't have had Joe Weider taking me over to America and giving me the opportunity, I wouldn't have done those things. So it's on and on and on. There is no such thing. We all need help, and you better appreciate the help that you get around you.
Shall we give Arnold another big warm round of applause, please? My friends from the media, I did want to point out to you one more time, and I think that they are certainly worth a stopover with a one-on-one with Janessa and John Park. Please, John, if you don't just stand up again, because there's a lovely story there. There's an extraordinary story about how Reg Park influenced not just the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, but several other great South African sportsmen, like, for instance, Bruce Fordyce, believe it or not. So that would be worth a chat as well. Our top table, Arnold has got some one-on-ones lined up, which has been pre-arranged, and then the top table is available for other one-on-ones. So I thank you one more time, and we trust that you're now going to go across the footbridge, for those of you who have not been to the Arnold Classic Africa, and to go and see it for yourself. So this is where everyone gets to smile. Oh, take your picture back.